Hello, welcome to Gagro.net. This is Gagro live on Facebook. And I always like to have people that you could have back and forth conversation instead of people just agree with you, you know. And so I normally talk about the current government, current leader. I do not support anybody else. Like in Trump's situation, I didn't promote Biden or anybody else. I concentrated on Trump, his fiasco. And now I'm concentrating on Pashinyan fiasco. And so I like to warmly welcome Appo, or Mr. Jabarian. And please welcome and tell us why you support Pashinyan.
First and foremost, I want to thank you for the opportunity to shed some lights on important issues, and especially on political positions. Let's start with the Trump support. My support of past presidential election candidates has been guided by one principle, and one principle only. Do they bring solution to the major issues that I've been a devoted activist, like tens of thousands of fellow Armenians in the United States and around the world, starting from the election, presidential election between George W. Bush and Al Gore. And when Hillary Clinton became Secretary of State, and it was under her watch that the so-called Arab Spring started in North Africa and Middle East and destroyed many nations. Going back to your second question or assertion that I'm a Pashinyan supporter, well, if you ask me if I would prefer, under current circumstances, the Pashinyan administration or the return of the former kleptocratic oligarchs to power, my answer wouldn't be any different than millions, literally millions of Armenians around the world, in Armenia and around the world. I am categorically against the return to power of the former oligarchs, starting from Levon Ter-Bedrosian, Robert Kocharian, Serge Sarkisian, and their entourage. So, am I a supporter of the Sorosites? Absolutely not. But would I allow myself to temporarily support the Pashinyan government until we coalesce, we the compatriots, with the patriotic forces, or you want to call it nationalist forces? I don't want to shy away from that word. I'm a nationalist. So I'm a supporter of my nation. And Armenian nation is consisted of the people in the republics of Armenia and Artsakh and the diaspora. So as a third generation Armenian survivor, I have no other choice. The Armenian culture is under attack, and the Armenian identity is endangered. So under current circumstances, I think it would be highly counterproductive to see the former kleptomaniacs to return to power. So it's easier for our people to deal with the Pashinyan government and organize the patriotic opposition, not the current 17 plus 3 corrupted circle of party oligarchs in Armenia.
All right. So you made your case there. Well, I act as a journalist, and I look at people, I investigate their background, what they did. In Trump case, I checked at his background. He was corrupt. He corrupted. He sent 5, 6, 7, every business he started, he sent to Chapter 11. To me, that was not acceptable. He can't be a good leader for that. And he screwed up the coronavirus so badly. Like Pashinyan, he was saying, this thing's going to go away, don't worry about it. And so he was basically lying, you know.
Like I said, I am not a defense attorney for the Pashinyan government. and I'm all for forcing the Pashinyan government to carry out its mandate in cleaning up corruption and also execute the new law on confiscation, legal confiscation of illegally acquired properties by all the oligarchs. It doesn't matter which political party they belong to. So the law, the rule of law, has to be upheld for everybody, including Pashinyan himself. And furthermore, I am an independent thinker. So in the aftermath of the 44
let's not get the war. We'll talk about the war. We'll talk about the war.
I'm not going to talk about the war. I'm going to talk about my position in demanding from the current Pashinyan government to form a National Truth Commission consisted of independent Armenians from around the world, reliable, trustworthy Armenians who should investigate all the four regimes, starting from Levon Ter-Bedrosyan all the way to Kocharian, President Kocharian, President Serge Sarkisian, and Prime Minister Pashinyan. So please don't tell me there aren't any.
I'm not saying there aren't. I'm not saying there aren't. All I'm saying is he had 3 years, did nothing, zero about corruption.
I'm not his defense attorney.
So,
I agree with you, and I condemn the fact that he has not held any of the corrupted former officials and current officials. By the way, I'm an independent observer. I'm an investigative journalist like you, right? We know each other. So even in today's Pashinyan entourage, there are oligarchs. And we don't want no oligarchs in Armenia anymore. We don't want no oligarchs in the diaspora. During the last 30 years, the oligarchs of Armenia collaborated, not cooperated, collaborated with the oligarchs of the diaspora. And these two oligarchic groups have hijacked the future of the Armenian nation, including the diaspora and the Armenian Republic.
Okay. So we agree that he done nothing about corruption.
Absolutely. I would say nothing, but at least he should have done tenfold, like 20 times more.
Right. Okay. So this is the issue. All Armenian rise up, supported him because of he won the election with one word, corruption. And he didn't do nothing about corruption. The problem of Pashinyan is he has no diplomatic credentials. He has no intelligence of negotiation. He never run any business in his life. He never managed people in his life. You know, he came in power with one word, as we just discussed, corruption. And he didn't even solve that. But this guy has no experience. He has to go sit and negotiate with Putin, Aliyev, Erdogan. Those guys are brutal dictators. They've been there for ages. How Pashinyan gonna go negotiate with those people? He has no capability.
In my opinion, the credentials are important, but also good intentions are far more important, and even more, furthermore important is the willingness of an elected official to carry out his or her job as honestly as possible. Now, history will tell us, we can have discussions, accusations and counter-accusations for hours, but the bottom line is Armenia, Artsakh, and the diaspora failed in the last 32 years, including the Pashinyan administration. The failure of the years prior to the Pashinyan administration shall not be compounded and be qualified as a liability for the Pashinyan administration. You know, we have to be fair. Even though I'm in total disagreement with many of the policies of the current Pashinyan administration, and I'm categorically opposed to any kind of NGO, including the Sorosites, we have to be fair-minded. We have to be equitable in our approach.
You keep going. This is typical of Pashinyan. Everything he blame on the old regime. So old regime is gone. He is in power. Why you guys keep talking about old regime?
Wally, you know it and I know it. Old regime is on Bagramian and Demirjan boulevards in the heart of the Armenian capital Yerevan, disrupting daily lives over there. That's
so if tomorrow there is, so you don't like the old, you don't like the Soros, which is most Pashinyans are, according to everybody, is Soros. And so who you have in mind?
Of course, why are we ignoring the people?
Well, forget about people. People need leader. Who you're choosing?
There are many individuals in
Armenia. Name one. Name one.
I'm not going to campaign for any single one, but there are very healthy individuals in Armenia right now, and I've been observing them. I've been following them. I don't want to campaign for them. I want to let the people decide for themselves. And I'm happy that democracy is a functioning institution in Armenia, and I want to let the people say their word, their final word through elections. If they elect a tiny majority members of the parliament to be Pashinyan from the Pashinyan bloc, so be it. If the 40 or 45% of the National Assembly parliamentarians come from patriotic forces, so be it. So this would be a welcome development. So
really, journalism, in my opinion, is that you go after the current government because they have the record, and the government, Pashinyan, is coming saying, I want you to elect me. So my question to him, on what basis? But his answer is like you, says, oh, this old regime gonna come back. So that is his answer. That is not answer for me. We already, Armenian people already decided we don't want that government, we want this government. But you failed too. So hopefully somebody will come out, will satisfy Armenian people. Thank you again. Appreciate you coming. You take care.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye.